Hello everyone. So in the previous session we have learned the concept theorem based on simple function. So in this session let me explain new concept, that is Lebesgue integral of bounded function. So before explaining the concept I just want to tell you that while doing the session, that is Lebesgue integral, I have already told you that Lebesgue integral is a kind of a Riemann integral, or else we can say that Lebesgue integral is a generalized form of a Riemann integral. So first Riemann integral comes into existence. So after that Lebesgue integral, in the sense Lebesgue integral will be one of the application of Riemann. Sometimes it is considered as a generalization of Riemann integral. So Lebesgue integral is one of the Riemann integral, one kind of Riemann integral. Now let me explain Lebesgue integral of bounded function. So unlike a Riemann integral and Lebesgue integral, here also we are going to define lower bound of a partition and upper bound of a partition. So in terms of supremum and infimum as well. Suppose if f is a function which is defined from a domain E to R, and moreover f will be a measurable function which is bounded, measurable and bounded. So as f is measurable, E is also a measurable set. So if f is a measurable and bounded function which is defined from a measurable set E to a real number R, then there exists an alpha such that which is an infimum of all the function f of x, such that x is an element of a measurable set, and beta will be a supremum of all the elements such that x is an element of a measurable set E. Then we are going to divide a partition P as we done in the step function, that alpha to, suppose alpha and beta is a closed interval, we are going to divide a closed interval alpha and beta into a number of partitions, let's say y0, y1 less than, where we have considered x0. So instead we have considered y0 here, y1 and so on yn, which is equal to beta. So we are going to divide a closed interval alpha and beta into a partition in such a way that alpha is infimum of all the function and beta is supremum of all the function, where x is element is a set of, where x is an element of a measurable set. And let me take ei as some elements of x such that yi minus 1 less than f of x less than yi. Meaning is that yi minus 1 yi is one of the terms of the partition that we have already divided alpha beta. Alpha beta is the original partition, that is closed interval. We are going to divide it into a partition. Yi minus and yi is the something like y1 and y0. Y0 is stands for yi minus 1. Y1 is none other than yi. That is, if you are going to consider any two partitions, any two values, certain values inside the partition, f of x will be in between those partitions. So that is the meaning of ei. Clear? Now it is obvious we can express E as countable union of all the EIs, and moreover when you are going to express E as countable union of all EIs, that is measurable sets, moreover all the elements will be disjoint. This will be applicable. Disjoint in the sense intersection will be equal to null set. As I already told you, whenever you are going to express a measurable set as countable union of all the measurable set, whatever the sets you are going to consider, those sets will be disjoint in the sense their intersection will be equal to null set. So definitely I will not be equal to j. Why? Because they are different. So if that was the case, we can define lower bound of partition P with respect to f. Lower bound of partition P with respect to bounded function. That is what I have written here. F is measurable and bounded function. Fine. So lower bound of partition P with respect to a bounded function f is defined as summation I is equal to 1 to n yi minus 1 into measure of ei. Similarly, upper bound of a partition P with respect to a bounded function is given by I is equal to 1 to n yi into measure of ei. In the sense, upper bound is none other than y1. It is obvious. Lower bound is y0. So when you are going for generalizing case, upper bound will be y1 with respect to y1. Lower bound will be previous element, that is with respect to yi minus 1. So this is the definition of lower bound and upper bound of a Lebesgue integral with respect to a bounded function. Further, lower bound is represented by L, a bar and below, lower bound of a function f, or Lebesgue integral of a function f. one and the same. Lower Lebesgue integral of a function f and upper Lebesgue integral of a function f. Fine. So as I already told you, lower Lebesgue, wherever you go, maybe function changes, whether it is with respect to simple function or the step function. When you are going to consider a lower lower Lebesgue integral, it will be with respect to supremum only. You just go to the previous session video. There also I have explained the same. That is, whenever I am going to take the lower bound, so we are going to consider as supremum. In case of step function, in place of f, I have written pi, that's all. So, lower bound of a function f, lower Lebesgue integral of a bounded function f is supremum taken over all the lower bound. Similarly, you can define upper Lebesgue integral over a bounded function f is infimum taken over all the upper bounds. So if you take infimum of all the upper bounds, you will get upper Lebesgue integral. If you take supremum over all the lower bounds, you will get lower Lebesgue integral. Further, if lower Lebesgue integral is equal to upper Lebesgue integral, we can say it is Lebesgue integral over E. I'll just write here. If lower Lebesgue integral of f is equal to upper Lebesgue integral f, we can say it is Lebesgue integral. It is generally denoted by Lebesgue integral of f, or just integral over E with respect to f. So one and the same. Fine. If lower Lebesgue integral is equal to upper Lebesgue integral, we say it is Lebesgue integrable with respect to a bounded function f. Fine. So you have to remember these two definitions. That is lower bound. Lower bound of a partition P with respect to f, and upper bound of a partition P with respect to f. These two definitions you have to remember. When you say lower bound, you have to take with respect to yi minus 1. When you take upper bound, you have to take with respect to yi. And lower bound of a function is none other than supremum over all the lower bounds. Upper integrable, upper Lebesgue integral is none other than infimum over all the upper bounds. Fine. And this is what the definition is. And one more thing is that you have to remember, lower bound of a partition will be always less than or equal to upper bound. This is standard. Obviously, lower bound is always less than upper bound. Meaning is that lower in the sense it is supremum. Supremum of all the lower bounds will be less than or equal to infimum of all the upper bounds. Remember, for any Lebesgue integral, lower bound will be always less than or equal to upper bound. That is, supremum of all the lower bounds will be less than or equal to infimum of all the upper bounds. We can say this as lower, as we already defined, supremum of lower bound is none other than lower Lebesgue integral of f is always less than or equal to infimum is none other than upper Lebesgue integral of f. So this is a note point you have to remember. Clear? Now let me solve one theorem based on the concept of Lebesgue integral of a bounded function. Hope so Lebesgue integral of bounded function is clear. You have to remember this definition, that is lower bound of a partition P with respect to f and upper bound of a partition with respect to f, and upper Lebesgue integral and lower Lebesgue integral, when they are equal, we can say it is a Lebesgue integral over a bounded function f. So here is a theorem which is based on the Lebesgue integral of bounded function. If f is Lebesgue integral over E, then we have to prove that alpha into measure of E less than equal to Lebesgue integral over E with respect to f. As I already told you, Lebesgue integral is also represented by E with respect to f. C is here. Both the notations are same. Lebesgue integral over E with respect to f, or simply integral over E with respect to f. Both are same. So when upper Lebesgue integral is equal to lower Lebesgue integral is equal to upper Lebesgue integral, it is Lebesgue integral. We can represent in any of the notation. Now coming to the proof, so what we have to prove is alpha into measure of E is less than or equal to Lebesgue integral over E, that is a function f with respect to E, and beta into measure of E it is. Fine. So let me consider a partition P as I explained as per the standard definition, such that I am going to divide a closed interval alpha and beta by considering the intermediate values, that is y0, y1, so on, yn, which is equal to beta. Be a partition of alpha, closed interval alpha and beta. If that was the case, ei can be written as, always f is a function which is defined from E to R, right, where E is a measurable set. So ei is set of all those elements of x which is in E, such that f of x will be in between yi and yi minus 1. That is what I have explained in the previous concept, right? So whenever you are going to choose a function within a closed interval alpha and beta, we have divided a closed interval alpha and beta into n number of partition. So whatever the value of f of x you are going to take, that will be in between those values. That is generalized form, yi minus 1 and yi. Fine. Now, as usual, ei can be expressed as countable union. Right, let me take this as E, and if that was the case, as per the definition, they are disjoint. Ei intersection Ej will be null set. That is the meaning of disjoint, where I not equal to j. Now let us consider alpha into measure of Ei, which is less than or equal to yi minus 1 into measure of Ei, which is less than or equal to beta into measure of Ei. So yi minus 1 is the previous value which is there in the given partition. Now let me take a sum, that is summation over summing from n. Summing over n, that is when you are going to take summation over I. Why? Because I have an index I here. Let me take alpha outside. So summation I is equal to 1 to n. Measure of Ei is less than or equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n yi minus 1. Measure of Ei is less than or equal to beta I am going to take outside. Summation I is equal to 1 to n measure of Ei. Just I have added, I am going to take a sum over all the existing sets. Fine. Now if that was the case, let me take measure outside. So as I already told you, when you are going to take measure outside, summation will become union. When you are going to take measure inside, union will become summation. I am going to apply the reverse process, alpha outside. Since I am going to take measure outside, so summation will become union. So let me write measure outside. Union I is equal to 1 to n. Ei I can write. Fine. Similarly, which is less than or equal to. Now as per the definition, just now I have explained by the definition of lower bound of a partition. See here, yi minus 1 will be with respect to lower bound of a partition P with respect to f. So that is what I have here. Same thing. So I can write this as lower bound of a partition P with respect to f, which is less than or equal to beta into, now I am going to take measure outside. So summation will become union. I is equal to 1 to n Ei. So let me take this as one term. Now this will be true for all the partitions, whatever the partition considered within the closed interval alpha and beta. Now I am going to retain alpha as it is and measure as it is. Since union of Ei's can be written as E, from this equation union of all the Ei's will be equal to E. So I can write this as E, which is less than or equal to lower bound of a partition P with respect to f, which is less than or equal to beta into measure of this will be equal to E. Right? Now one more definition for lower bound is, what we can say, lower bound is none other than a supremum of all lower bounds, right? So if you are going to take supremum, lower bound in the sense supremum, upper bound in the sense infimum. So I can write this as alpha into measure of E will be less than or equal to, let me take supremum over all the lower bounds, which is less than or equal to beta into measure of E. Now as per the definition, supremum taken over all the lower bounds will be lower Riemann integral or lower Lebesgue integral. See here, lower Lebesgue integral is none other than supremum taken over all the lower partitions. So if it is supremum taken over all the lower partition, we can write this as lower Lebesgue integral. So I can replace that. So what you are going to get, alpha into measure of E is less than or equal to, this is the lower Lebesgue integral over a function f, which is less than or equal to beta into measure of E. Fine, we have obtained for lower Lebesgue integral, but what we have to prove is generalized. See, remember Lebesgue integral of f is same as integral over E f. So both the representation are same. So when do we say function f is Lebesgue integral? When lower Riemann or Lebesgue one and the same. As I told you, Lebesgue integral is generalized form of Riemann integral. So when we prove lower Lebesgue integral is equal to upper Lebesgue integral, we say function is Lebesgue integral, and we can write this. Since I have proved it for lower Lebesgue integral, and it will be true for upper Lebesgue integral as well. So I can write this as, similarly we can prove alpha into measure of E will be less than or equal to upper Lebesgue integral over EF will be less than or equal to beta into measure of E. So from equation 1 and 2 we can clearly say that both are satisfying the condition, in the sense alpha and beta satisfying the condition with respect to lower Lebesgue integral and upper Lebesgue integral. This implies Lebesgue integral over E with respect to f is equal to f again, which can be written as, since upper Lebesgue integral is equal to lower Lebesgue integral, right? Both are satisfying the same condition, so I can say it is Lebesgue integral. Therefore these two can be replaced by this equation, since both are satisfying the same condition. Therefore from 1 and 2 I can write alpha into measure of E will be less than or equal to, I'll just replace it with E f, which is less than or equal to beta into measure of E. So this is what we required to prove this. Fine. So it is proved for lower Lebesgue integral. It is true for upper Lebesgue integral. Since both are satisfying the common condition, we can replace it with Lebesgue integral. Hence the proof. Hope so it is clear. And one more note point is, remember that always a step function, that whatever I have explained, that is a dividing a partition and considering a function as a constant. Hope so you remember step function. So every step function is simple function. Remember, note, every step function is simple function. Every step function is simple function. You have to remember this. Clear? And now let me express Lebesgue integral of bounded function in terms of simple function. Lebesgue integral of bounded function in terms of simple function. So as I already told you in the just previous session that simple function is pi and psi, right? So we can express it in a canonical form. Canonical form of simple function is also clearly explained. Please go through the video. So it is the same case. Whatever the function you are going to take, whatever the type of a function you are going to take, we are going to just express it in terms of supremum and infimum. So I'll just give you the simple concept. That is whatever the standard definition is there, that is we are going to define a function f from E to R, and E is expressed as union of all the countable union of all the EI's, and moreover they are disjoint, everything will be same. But lower integral is represented, lower integral of a function function f with respect to E is supremum taken over all the step function phi, all the simple function all the simple function phi, where pi is less than or equal to f. So lower Riemann integral in terms of step function is supremum taken over all the function pi. Similarly upper Riemann integral over function f is infimum taken over all the psi. So as I already given a clear definition of pi and psi in terms of summation. You just go through the previous session where I have defined in terms of summation as well as in terms of Riemann integrable also. Lebesgue integral also. So Lebesgue integral, lower Lebesgue integral of a function f is supremum taken over all the simple function pi. Simple function is another than if a function takes only finite number of values. So upper Riemann integrable is infimum taken over all the simple function psi. So this is the standard definition, and if both are equal we can say it is Lebesgue integrable, and it is represented by L of E, or simply integral over E with respect to f. That is integral over E with respect to f is same as Lebesgue integral over E with respect to f. If both are equal then we can say it is Lebesgue integrable, one and the same. And as I already told you, note point, you have to remember that Lebesgue integral is generalization of Riemann integral. Generalization of Riemann integral. Fine, you have to remember this note point. Now let me prove one of the important theorem, and it is very important. It has it was asked in the year 2018. So this particular theorem shows that Lebesgue integral is same as a Riemann integrable. So as I already told you that Lebesgue integral is one of the generalized form of Riemann integral. Anyhow, this particular theorem shows both are equal. So if f from AB to R is bounded function, if f is Riemann integrable over AB, then it is Lebesgue integrable over AB. In the sense, if f is Riemann integrable, we are going to prove that f is Lebesgue integrable, and Lebesgue integral of f of x into dx is same as Riemann integral of f of x into dx. Both are same. So this particular theorem shows that Lebesgue integral and Riemann integrable are one and the same. Now let me come into the proof. So if f is Riemann integrable over AB, so let me assume f is Riemann integrable, and let me show that it is Lebesgue integral. So if f is Riemann integrable over a closed interval AB, then as per the definition what it says, Riemann integrable over f of x into dx can be written as, when do we say a function is Riemann integrable? When lower Lebesgue integral, when lower Riemann integrable is equal to upper Riemann integrable. So what is the definition for lower Riemann integrable? Infimum of all the psi taken over, just now I have explained, taken over a function psi of x in terms of simple function. And upper Riemann integrable is supremum, just now I have explained, please go through that. Pi taken over all pi of x into dx. If both are equal, we can say it is Riemann integrable, right? Where supremum and infimum is taken over all step function. Pi of x and psi of x are step functions, right? And I have told you the note point, you just go through that. Since every step function is a simple function, right? Every step function is simple function. Why? Because it takes finite number of values. Simple function. Thereby, I can write it, if every first step function is simple function, obviously it should satisfy the property of simple function, right? So I can write supremum taken over all the pi of x into dx will be less than or equal to supremum taken over pi star. In the sense, the function or the value which is next to pi will be same. So it will be satisfying the properties of a simple function. And similarly, it will be holds good for infimum as well. That is infimum of all, let me take psi. First I have taken for supremum for pi. So infimum will be psi less than or equal to f. Psi of x dx will be less than or equal to infimum psi greater than or equal to f psi star of x into dx. It is pi. This is psi. When you are going to take infimum, you have to take psi. Supremum, you have to take pi. Right? So this property will be holds good where pi star and psi star vary, or else I can let me write one statement, vary over simple function. So pi star and psi star will be varying as it moves. So pi and psi are a simple function and they are varying quantity. Meaning is that whatever the Riemann integrable you are going to, Riemann integrable function you are going to take, supremum and infimum will be in between a given function range. That is, I can write Riemann integrable of a to b f of x into dx will be less than or equal to, in the sense whatever the Riemann integrable function you are going to take, supremum and infimum will be in between these two functions only. So let me write here supremum of all pi stars less than, why? Because pi star and psi star are the varying functions, right? Whereas pi and psi are not varying. So supremum of pi star of x into dx is less than or equal to infimum of psi star of f into psi star of x into dx. In the sense, infimum varying functions pi star and psi star, if you are going to take supremum and infimum for that, it will be in between the function f of x, that is Riemann integrable function f of x. So meaning is that, suppose if I'm going to write it separately so that you will understand, all these steps will not be there in the notes. I am writing it just for your reference. So I can write this as of x into dx. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to split the statements. First I have considered these three terms. Next I can write Riemann integral of a to b f of x into dx is less than or equal to infimum of all psi star greater than or equal to f psi star of x into dx, which is less than or equal to Riemann integral of a to b f of x into dx. I can write like this. Meaning is that infimum of whatever the function you are going to, I'll just write simple example. See here, when I'm going to write a less than or equal to c less than or equal to b, meaning of this statement is a is equal to c is equal to b, right? That is what the meaning of the inequality is. So by these two statements, what we can conclude is that Riemann integrable, I'm just repeating once again, whatever the quantity that you are going to get, if in both the sides, if you have same value, see here it is something like a, here also we have the same quantity, so I'm sorry, it is also a. So if particular quantity lies between a, that quantity will be equal to a. In the sense, I can write a is equal to c. Meaning of this kind of statement is a is equal to c. Right? So similarly, by comparing these two statements, I can directly write that Riemann integral of a to b f of x into dx will be equal to supremum of pi star, which is less than or equal to f pi star of x into dx will be equal to infimum of psi star, which is greater than or equal to f psi star of x into dx. Why? Because both the values will be in between a same function. So I can write that they are equal. So if all the values are equal, that is supremum and infimum are equal. This is from the definition of, what is the definition of Lebesgue integral that I have explained in the previous session, that Lebesgue integral is another than, it is supremum taken over all the varying functions and infimum taking over all the varying functions, since they are equal. So by these two I can conclude that from these two steps it is Lebesgue integral. Right, so whenever they are equal, it is equal to Lebesgue integral of a function AB. So from this statement I can conclude that, I'll just write here, Riemann integral of a to b f of x into dx will be equal to Riemann lower. These two statements I'll just write here only. Lebesgue integral of a to b f of x into dx. Why? Because if supremum of all the varying function is equal to infimum of all the varying functions psi star of x, then we can say, as per the definition, it is Lebesgue integral. This is lower Lebesgue integral. I'm sorry, upper Lebesgue integral. This is infimum is another than lower Lebesgue integral. I'm just repeating once again. Since you have infimum here, it is lower Lebesgue integral. Supremum here, it is upper Lebesgue integral. Since both are equal, so it is Lebesgue integrable over AB to x. If you want, you can write one more step. I'll just write here. So you can write this step as a to b f of x into dx will be is equal to, supremum is another than upper Lebesgue integral of ab over f of x into dx. Infimum is another than lower Lebesgue integral of ab over f of x into dx. From these two I can say, if both are equal, it is Lebesgue integrable. Right, so Riemann integrable of AB of f of x into dx will be equal to Lebesgue integral of AB f of x into dx. So that is why we say Lebesgue integral is generalized form of Riemann integrable. So if any function is Lebesgue integrable, it will be a Riemann integrable as well. Hope so it is clear. So further, if you have any doubt, you can free to ask me. Thank you. Continue.